How does the tomb of one of the greatest conquerors in history just disappear? From the moment Alexander the Great died, his body went on a journey across empires, a journey that may still not be over. How does something so important get lost? To find the answer, we have to go back to the very beginning, the dramatic and chaotic days following Alexander's death. In 323 BC, in the opulent city of Babylon, a 32-year-old Alexander lay dying. After days battling a raging fever, the conqueror of the known world was defeated by an invisible enemy, likely a disease like malaria or typhoid. His death didn't bring peace. It created a power vacuum. His most powerful military leaders and nobles, the men who had fought by his side, immediately began to feud among themselves. They weren't mourning, they were plotting. For 7 bizarre and tense days, as his generals argued over who would inherit his legacy, the body of Alexander the Great remained unburied. Finally, a decision was made. Egyptian embalmers were brought in to preserve the king's body. It was then placed in a breathtaking sarcophagus of hammered gold, which was said to have been molded to the contours of his body. A royal crown was placed on his head. For a time he was buried in Babylon, but this was never meant to be his final home. The real fight was just beginning. For 2 years, Alexander's companions argued about where to send him on his final journey. The regent, Perdiccas, planned a grand procession to take the body back to Macedonia, the traditional burial ground of kings. This would have cemented his own power. But one man had a far more audacious plan. That man was Ptolemy, one of Alexander's most trusted generals, and the new ruler of Egypt. Ptolemy knew that possessing the body of the deified Alexander was the ultimate political trophy. And there was a rumor, a powerful one, that Alexander himself had expressed a wish to be buried in Egypt. After all, he saw himself as the son of the Egyptian god Zeus Amun, and had no desire to be buried next to his biological father Philip in Macedonia. As the magnificent funeral carriage made its slow journey through Syria, Ptolemy's forces attacked. He seized the golden sarcophagus and diverted the entire procession south, to Egypt. This wasn't just grave robbing, it was a declaration of war. Ptolemy first brought the body to the ancient city of Memphis, burying it near a temple of the god Ammon, fulfilling, in a way, Alexander's supposed wish. But Memphis wasn't grand enough. At the end of the 4th or early 3rd century BC, Alexander's body was moved to the city he had founded, Alexandria. Here, the Ptolemaic dynasty built a great mausoleum to house their founder. It was called the Soma, or Sema, which in Greek simply means the body. The Soma quickly became one of the most famous sites in the ancient world, a center for mass pilgrimage. The Romans, who idolized Alexander, flocked to it. Julius Caesar came to pay his respects, but the most incredible stories come from the Roman emperors. When Octavian, the future Emperor Augustus, captured Alexandria, he demanded to see the body. As a sign of respect, he placed a golden crown on Alexander's head and scattered flowers over the mummy. But, according to the historian Cassius Dio, as he leaned over to kiss the conqueror, he awkwardly stumbled and broke Alexander's nose. The visits get even stranger. The notorious Emperor Caligula visited the tomb, and, not content with just looking, he had Alexander's own breastplate removed from the mummy, so he could wear it himself. Later, in the 210s AD, Emperor Caracalla left his own tunic and ring on the sarcophagus as an offering. He visited Alexandria while preparing for his Persian invasion and persecuted philosophers of the Aristotelian school, based on a legend that Aristotle had poisoned Alexander. The Soma was a revered sanctuary for centuries. So, what happened? The first sign of trouble came with Emperor Septimius Severus in the early 3rd century AD. For security reasons, he ordered the entrance to the sacred tomb to be sealed. We don't know why. Was he trying to protect it from looters, or was he trying to stamp out the powerful pagan cult of Alexander in a Roman Empire that was slowly turning towards new faiths? Sealing the tomb was the beginning of the end. By the year 400 AD, when the Christian Archbishop John Chrysostom visited Alexandria, the unthinkable had happened. He asked to see the famous tomb, only to be told in his own words, his people do not even know his tomb. In less than 2 centuries, the location of the most famous tomb in the world had been lost. But the memory never completely died. It transformed into whispers and legends. Authors in the 9th and 15th centuries reported seeing a tomb revered by Muslims as Alexander's. The traveler Leo Africanus wrote in the 1500s, "Among the ruins of Alexandria, there still stands a small structure, noteworthy because of the remarkable tomb. Huge crowds of pilgrims come there, even from distant lands, to see and venerate the tomb." The search has never stopped. To this day, the Egyptian Antiquities Service has logged over 140 official attempts to find the tomb. It remains one of the greatest holy grails of archaeology. The journey of Alexander's body is as epic as his life. From a golden sarcophagus stolen in a daring heist, to a world-famous shrine that hosted emperors, to a sealed chamber that simply faded from memory. Its story is one of power, ambition, and the relentless passage of time. So where do you think it is? Is the golden sarcophagus of Alexander the Great still waiting, sealed and perfectly preserved, deep beneath the bustling streets of modern Alexandria? Was it destroyed by earthquakes or riots centuries ago? Or is the legend that Leo Africanus heard true, and it's hiding in plain sight, mistaken for the tomb of someone else? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Don't miss the next video that involves Alexander the Great and the most popular pharaoh we know today. And if you want to dive into more of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.